Hey guys, peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Let me take off these glasses. Well, you know what? Maybe I won't take off the glasses. Yeah, I will take off the glasses. I want to say thank you to all of you that, I know this is a little different. I usually have my braids, my twisties, my locks, whatever. Yeah. Every so often, this happens. But I want to thank all of you that came onto the post. Every time I post something, you guys jump right in, you jump right on, and I just want to say thank you for being honest, being truthful. Everybody speaks on transparency and being transparent. Some people talk about it, but they're not about it, and I just appreciate you guys completely for doing that. And I wanted to come live because I wanted to touch on one of the topics, one of the questions that I asked, and one of the questions was about bullying. And I knew that that question would be kind of hard for people to answer. And you guys did a wonderful job, by the way. You guys did a wonderful job answering the question. The question was, if I can remember verbatim, the question was, have you ever been a bully? Have you ever picked on or been a bully? Some people said that they were bullied. Some people said that they took up for the people that were being bullied. Some people said that they were the bully of the bulliers or the bullies. And, and again, thank you so much for answering those questions. Thank you so much for touching on that topic. I'm going to put myself out there because you guys have no problem with answering my questions. So I figured that I would come on here and I would share and I would have my moment of transparency, my moment of being open and honest. And I usually do that when I do a live or I have something to say on social media. I usually will put myself in that position, or I will definitely give you some information from my point of view. So, so I just want to say, again, thank you and just say that it's not hard. And I know this is going to sound crazy. It's not hard to be petty, okay? It is hard to make amends sometimes. It is hard to be honest and truthful about our shortcomings. Now, first of all, let me say we're human. That's the experience. We will have our shortcomings. We will make mistakes 1,000,000,001 times. Some of us are forgiven for our mistakes, and some of us are not forgiven for our mistakes. Some of us could care less about our mistakes. But again, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much for your honesty, for being truthful, for being transparent, for opening up. And I love you guys for that, because whenever I ask a question, you guys never hesitate to jump right in. Maybe you could get like that when I'm selling my books. Anyway, but you guys never hesitate. So I love you guys for that. I appreciate you guys. And I had some other things that I was going to say, but in the past 10, 15 minutes, my emotional swing has gone in another direction. So I'm going to leave that alone. So I'm going to say that if you were bullied, I'm sorry that you had to have that experience. If you were a bully, I'm sorry that you had to have that experience. Often we say that hurt people tend to hurt people, and that is very true. When we experience pain and suffering, we want to unleash. We want to go out and hurt other people. We want somebody else to feel as bad as we do, and that's not right. Thank you guys for watching. Brother Carlos, thank you. Sister Rebecca, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. Please share this video when you get the opportunity. So let me just say, of course, to be bullied, it hurts. It hurts. Some of us have, unfortunately, gone through physical, mental, emotional, psychological, all types of bullying. I can honestly say that I have never been physically bullied. I have never been physically bullied. Now, I've had people pick fights with me, but they didn't win. Physical fights, they didn't win. But sometimes emotional is so much worse. And I'm not taking anything away from anybody that's going through physical, because, if you've almost been killed, people tried to kill you, you almost died, nothing compares to that. So I'm glad that you are still here with us. You make the world a better place. But yeah, so I went through the whole emotional. So let's get it started, okay? Because we all have a million and one stories. Let's get it started. So of course I was bullied because at one time I was very flat chested. I was very skinny. Every girl in the neighborhood had some type of body. They had hips and breasts and all the things that I wanted. I couldn't wait to get those things, but I was picked on because everybody had training bras or bras, and I had t-shirts, you know. So I got called a boy a lot. I got picked on for being boyish or built like a boy or a stick or, you know, flat, whatever. I was flat chested, flat butted. What was it? I was a part of the itty bitty titty committee. All that stuff. It sounds crazy, right? All this stuff. And it hurt because I didn't even want to come out of my house. I was afraid to walk to the corner store because even though nobody physically touched me, they would like sit on their steps or walk behind me and call me names, you know, or I was the darkest, and I tried to figure out how that happened. At one point in elementary school, I was the darkest person, the darkest girl in the classroom. Every other girl was very fair-skinned or light-skinned or what they call red bone, and they all seemed to have the same features. They were all like light-skinned, had like pinkish lips or reddish lips. They all had breasts, nice breasts. They all had hips, and they all seemed to have like naturally long hair. It was like I was looking around like, who put me in this damn classroom? So the boys never looked at me. You know, I could draw and I could tell stories. I could write stories, but nobody cared about that kind of stuff back then. But you would think that they would be happy, you know, because they were like the real popular girls in elementary school and junior high school, but they picked on me. And I could not understand why. They wanted to fight me after school. And to me, it just made no sense. And I cried a lot, but I had to keep the crying inwards because I was the oldest of 5 children. So my siblings went to that school. So a lot of times I had to fight for them. So I couldn't be the big sister, the protector, and be crying in school. So I would save my crying for a clubhouse that I built in my mom's basement, and I would do my crying in there. You know, I would cry in the basement, in the clubhouse. She had a big giant closet, and I built a 2-story clubhouse. I was very creative, and that's where I cried at. But I was the superhero to my siblings, because if you mess with my siblings, that's when I took out my anger. Everybody that picked on me, once my siblings got picked on, I was whooping some ass. I'm like, oh, you picked the wrong sibling. Now I'm going to unleash this on you. But I'm saying that to say I was bullied a lot. Then I finally started developing, and then they picked on me because my behind was too big for them, I guess. So, you know, and they made up a song. Like literally some boys in my class made up a song about my derriere. Because it was all of a sudden a summer went by and here she comes. It's like, oh snap, she got breasts now, she got hips, she got ass, and now they want to make up a song about it. So I got picked on for that. And then girls hated me again because now their boyfriends are looking at me. I don't want your boyfriend. So that happened. Was picked on because in my neighborhood everybody had 2 parents in the house and I had 1. And you know, so we got picked on because of that. People knew my father. He came around, but they knew he wasn't in the house on a regular basis. So, you know, again, I could give you 1,000,001 stories. The point is that, you know, that went on even throughout junior high school. Okay, even in high school, I was a little more popular. But again, girls, you know, I had my group of friends, which we were, I don't want to say we were the nerds, but we were really smart. We were a group of girls that were really smart, and we belonged to clubs. Like, you know, the girls that picked on us and me, they belonged to like the cheerleading squad, the drill team. I belonged to like the Black History Committee, the Black History Committee, which by the way is very cool because I was very smart. There was a club that you would be in when you worked because I worked in school. I had a work roster, so I got out early. So you had a group of people that did that. and we had like an advertising agency. So I belonged to the group that had the advertising. So we had like, that was a part of our curriculum, advertising agency and work roster and all these things that I thought would help me to become a more productive person, a better person, and prepare me for the future, which it did. But I got picked on for that. So in my dumbness, because I cracked under peer pressure, and I'm sharing this because peer pressure is a bitch, okay? So please talk to your children, talk to your friends. Even as adults, we go through peer pressure. And I went through a period of peer pressure. So I joined the drill team. I joined the color guard. I joined the cheerleading squad or committee, and I freaking hated it. I was on a basketball team, and I was really good at basketball. But because of peer pressure, and because the girls again were like, oh, she's a boy, or oh, she just want to hang around the boys. Oh, she must be a slut. She always want to be with the boys. It made me quit the basketball team and join the cheerleading squad. So I ditched my basketball, my Spalding. I ditched that for some Laverne and Shirley's with big pom-poms and bells. Yeah. And I hated it. But I said, hey, I get to wear a cute uniform. I get to hang out with the allegedly cool crew, which they weren't at all. They were a bunch of losers, you know. And that's that. So I'm laughing about it now, but it was definitely a hurtful experience. And it was from elementary school to junior high school to high school. There were breaks and periods, of course, you know. I was never considered the cool kid, but I was considered the person that people like to listen to and people like to follow. So I did my best to make friends and have my group of friends. And even with that, we were a very smart group of young girls, young ladies, and people didn't like that. And they wanted to fight. And the weird thing is they never wanted to fight the girls that I hung out with. They just wanted to fight me. So even with that, so, you know, but the good thing is I only had 2 physical fights in high school. It's weird because my fights came after I graduated. It had nothing to do with high school. That sucks. But the point is that we've all experienced bullying. Okay, I had to fight my best friend at the time because she was bullying me along with a couple other people over a boy that I did not even like. Because he looked at me. I did not even like this guy. Okay? But she wanted to fight me. And I cried the entire time. I cried. Now, yeah, I did cry that day. I cried. I didn't want to come outside. I was afraid to come out. My mother wasn't home. I had to tell my brothers and sisters to stay in the house. And I called my cousin on the phone. And my cousin said, you better get your ass out there and fight. So I locked my siblings in the door. I said, if anything happens, call 911 and call grandma. Because if you call grandma, every cousin's phone will ring. So, but they didn't have to make the call because, unfortunately, I had to whoop her ass. God forgive me. And she had to get beat up. That's the bottom line. But the point is that I cried about it because she was supposed to be my best friend. Like we wore each other's clothing. Okay? Best friend. And because of a boy that she liked, I had to fight her. And that's a horrible thing. It's horrible. So I'm using this time, this live, because I'm venting. I'm getting my truth out. I'm being transparent because you all jumped on my post and you were so willing to share your intimate stories and your intimate details and be transparent with me. And I think it's only right and it's only fair for me to be transparent with you. And to remind you guys that it's not your fault that you're being bullied. People are bullied even now. People in the workplace. Well, not now because of the whole coronavirus thing, but beforehand. But even over social media, people bully people. Okay? Adults and children. And this is something I don't mind saying, and this is horrible for me to say, but I'm going to tell you something. When I was younger, I used to pray that when these bullies had children, their children will be bullied. I used to pray for that when I was young. I didn't know any better. I used to pray that since I can't do anything about you bullying me, I would pray that their children to come would be bullied by people, like relentlessly. And I thought about it and I said, you know what? It's not fair because, you know, imagine if we all were persecuted for the sins of our fathers and our mothers or our grandparents. Okay? Think about that. If we all had to suffer really on a daily basis because of something that our mothers and fathers or grandparents did, could we really be able to live a life, a peaceful life, or somewhat of a peaceful life? Think about it. Unless you have saints, unless your parents and grandparents were absolute saints, never did anything, never said anything, and everything was peace and blessings and da-da-da-da-da, then okay. But for most of us, that's not the case. So I had to realize that that's a horrible thing. You don't want to pray for somebody's downfall. You don't want to pray that something negative happens to other people, because in the end, it comes back to you. So I completely let that go years ago, and I, asked God to forgive me for those thoughts, but I was young. But I did wonder, as I got older, I wonder if their children are being bullied. And here's, I'm gonna end this with this experience, okay? A lot of times when people are bullied, especially young girls, later on you will find, which it doesn't mean shit to me, but you will find that these same people are now grown, and now they want to talk to you. Now they want to holler at you. Now they think you're so cute. They always thought you were cute. That's why they picked on you. Bullshit. That's why they picked on you. They always thought you were sexy. They always thought you were interesting. It was just something about that smile. Anyway, yeah. So, but I found out recently that going to a funeral service, I think it was last year or the year before, I went to a funeral service, and I literally saw a gentleman at my family's funeral, and I was wondering, why is he here? And I knew him. He was a man. He was a boy at the time, a teenager who bullied the hell out of me in junior high school, along with other boys. And I could not believe I hadn't seen him since junior high school. So all of that came back to me, and I could not walk out of there without saying something. Part of me said, leave it alone. That was the past. Stop living in the past. If you keep reliving your past, you're going to stay in the past. Sometimes you have to, unfortunately, revisit your past, speak to your past, pray about your past, and deal with your past. Or your past will continue to pop up when you least expect it. It might be going for 5 years, but then 5 years later, here it comes again. Okay? It'll be like that theme song from the Monkees. Here we come, walking down the street. Yeah. Well, maybe y'all don't know that song. But anyway, the point is that you can tuck it, you can sweep it under the rug, you can throw it in a closet. You put too much stuff in the closet, eventually your closet will crack or burst open. You put too many clothes in the washing machine is going to be unbalanced. Okay? You tell too many lies, you get caught up in your lies. So my thing is, I don't want you to stay in your past. I want to make sure I say this right. Make sure you get the proper help. Facebook, and a good friend told me this, Facebook is not help. Facebook is a way to release, to bring attention, to get advice, hopefully the right advice, but it's to release, get advice, get people's opinions, and vent to a certain degree, but it's not professional help. You have to take it to the next level. If things from your past are bothering you and they're not resolved and you want to talk about it, you need to get, let me not say need. I can't tell you what you need. I should hope and pray that you will seek professional help. I hope and pray that you will seek spiritual help, whether it's through your religious guidance person, the head of your spiritual committee, a therapist, a counselor, a psychiatrist, whatever. Okay, you do what's best for you. Okay, there was a saying that my grandmother used to have: let sleeping dogs lie. You let a sleeping dog lay around too long, either you're going to trip over that dog is going to wake up and be hungry and either bite you, eat you because it needs to eat, or it might be dead. I don't know, but let sleeping dogs lie. With that, because sleeping dogs lying and keeping things tucked under the rug and, keeping your mouth closed about everything, it builds up inside of you, and it could create a ticking time bomb. It could create, we want to know why children, and I'm not giving an excuse because it's horrible, children that were bullied in school one day decide to bring a gun to school and shoot everybody. And it's like, oh my God, why? What happened? Why did they do this? They're crazy. They're deranged. They're poisoned. They're toxic. They needed help. And I'm not condoning any of that. That's horrible. And yes, they should be locked up and so forth. But people always get into, well, what happened to that person before they did that? Now, I'm not going to lie. It's a little different in the African-American community compared to the Caucasian community, unfortunately. Because, I hate to go down that road, but when somebody that looks like this goes through that, they don't want to hear anything. Somebody looks kind of like this. What happened? So, but neither here nor there. People come and they do things, and they usually take it out on people that have nothing to do with anything. They take it out on innocent people because they feel hurt, because they were bullied, because they were picked on, because they were outraged, because they were pushed to the limit, because they were talked about and kicked around and laughed at. And, I don't know if any of you saw the movie Carrie. Classic. Anyway, horrible. But things like that are real. It happens because everyone has a limit. Everyone has a breaking point. And especially children. You push children to a breaking point, and God forbid, you don't know what could happen. It's just like a human being. Somebody lost their job. Somebody got sick. Somebody's family, somebody got divorced, and you add all these things, you keep piling and piling and piling, and they don't have help. They don't have anybody to talk to. Next thing you know, they're exploding, and you see the news, and you're like, what the hell just happened to that individual? And then you start peeling back the layers. Now, some of us are like, that's no reason to do that to people, and it's not. But I'm just saying that this is a reality that we live with, unfortunately. People, hurt people, okay? People want other people hurt when they feel pain, okay? And I'm going to give you something lighter. And you don't have to agree with me. This is just my thought, my opinion. That's it. We all have one. Peace and blessings, Lillian. Peace and blessings, Gina Storm. Peace and blessings, Miss Samson. Hello there. And please share this video. But it is what it is. But on a lighter note, we're having a baby. Beautiful, bringing a baby into the world. No epidural, no pain medication, and you're pushing that beautiful bundle of joy out, and your mate is standing next to you, and he's holding your hand, and he's loving on you and telling you how beautiful you are, and thank you for this creation, and you're sharing looks and you're sharing love, and then all of a sudden you start squeezing the hell out of his hand, and he's like, oh my God, you're hurting me, and you're like, I'm hurting. I want you to feel my pain. And you're like, jokingly, you're like, you did this to me. You did this to me, and that's on a lighter note, you know what I mean? But you want your mate at that time when you're pushing that baby out, that beautiful bundle of God's joy, you want your mate to know, like, yo, I'm in pain. I'm going to break your hand while you're holding my hand and you're trying to comfort me. I'm going to squeeze the hell out of your hand and break your hand so you can feel some of this pain. So that's on a lighter note, but I'm saying that hurt people tend to hurt people. We need to try our best to get help. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not a professional. I'm not a counselor, therapist, psychiatrist, psychologist, any of that. If you need to get help, please get the help that you need, and please share this video. And again, the reason why I came on here is because you all are so wonderful with getting on my post and expressing yourselves and sharing intimate stories and loving on my comments. And I felt that I had to, reciprocate. I felt that I needed to say that to you guys. Since you all share with me, I had no choice but to share my experience with you. And that's what this live is about. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Peace and blessings, born to right. Hey, beautiful sister. Hey, queen. So I appreciate you, because whenever I post something, you guys, you're on it. You jump on it. You open up. You're transparent, and I love that. And I appreciate you all. That's why I say to you all, I appreciate your comment, because I do. So that last, you said I'm ready. Ready for what? So that last post about if you were a bully, I'm glad that you guys answered that question, but I saw a lot of people that said they were the bully. And if you were a bully, then, like I said, I pray for you. I pray for the victims. I pray for us. You know, and people say, oh, that was in the past. I'm not that person anymore. Have you made amends? Have you made amends with the bully in, you said your shawl? You said you ready. Yes, your shawl. Oh, I did see your shawl. I did see it. It's beautiful. I did see it. You know, have you made amends with those people? Peace and blessings, Anthony the poet Richardson. You said lots of love, Queen. Thanks for sharing. Oh, your truth, the truth. You know what? I had to, because like I said, you all share with me without me even pushing the issue. As soon as I post something, you guys are on it. And that's why I post those questions. It's to create dialogue. It's to create an exchange of words with one another. It's to create understanding that will hopefully lead to overstanding. It's to keep the lines open of communication, because you never know if somebody is sitting at home like with no one to talk to and they don't want to talk to somebody, but they see something on social media and they're like, oh, at least I can text. And then they open, you know, that floodgate is open and they feel like a release. So this is my release. You know, I have never had the opportunity to, and people are still answering the questions. Thank you guys. I love you guys. Peach Plug, you said never was a bully. Beautiful. And I was never a bully. Ever, ever, ever. So to answer my own question, I was never, ever, ever, ever a bully. I was bullied. Elementary school, junior high school, even as an adult. But as an adult, you learn coping skills and coping mechanisms and ways to deal with it. And this is not to say live in the past. But I'm saying when something happens, if you don't address the past, if you don't touch on the past, if you don't get help for the past, eventually it will come up. May not be this year or next year, maybe 5 or 10, 20 years down the line. You're wondering, what the heck are you thinking? That past is sitting at your dinner table. And you're like, oh. I know there are a lot of things from my past that I think of. There are a lot of things that people tell me and I forget about it. And then all of a sudden it just starts popping up in my head and starts playing like a movie, because I have a very vivid imagination. I write stories. So, you know, somebody may tell me something and I'm like, oh, wow, and it's gone. And then next year or the year after that, I'm like, and I'm just sitting there thinking and dwelling on it like. So, anyway, Anthony said also let them know that sometimes the bully the bully can be in their own home. To find peace, you have to forgive them. And that's what I was getting to. You have to address that. You have to address your bully. I'm not saying fight. I'm not saying get up in their face and get with the rah-rah. Yeah, I was a little skinny something back in the day, but try that now. No, that's not what we're doing. You pray about it, you meditate, and if you can have a safe, if you can have a safe conversation with someone about how they made you feel back in the day. And you know what? Yeah, I actually had a cousin. I had a couple cousins that bullied me. I did. I had a couple cousins that bullied me. I don't know why, you know, but they did. And I just said, you know what? I don't have to see these people on a regular basis. I had a cousin that came to my house all the time and tore up my toys. And I allowed it. She tore up my toys. She picked on me, and I was like, why do she come here if that's what she wants to do? She gets her jollies from picking on me. As we got older, I realized how much she was being traumatized in her own home. I found out later how much abuse she was going through in her own home. And then I kind of understood she needed that release, and I was kind of her equal. And I guess she felt that she, got her shit off. But then later on, we became like this. Anthony said, yeah, okay, so we did that. Anthony said, yes, you eventually have to let them know. Yes, maturity. Maturity definitely helps. Like I said, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, counselor. I am a human being. I make a million mistakes a day. I'm also a very forgiving person. I have forgiven. Can y'all believe that? Forgiven. I have forgiven. I'm going to keep that. I know it doesn't even make sense, but I'm going to keep that. I have forgiven lots of people from my past. Okay? And I've asked people to forgive me. Even though I wasn't a bully, things that I've done to people in the past as an adult or whatever, I've asked for forgiveness. So this is something that we need to do. We need to forgive ourselves. Okay? Because we can self-destruct. We can hurt ourselves 1,000,001 times. We need to, you said keep that? Yeah, I have forgiven, okay? It's like, we have to forgive ourselves. We have to learn how to forgive ourselves. We have to. And we have to forgive others. Now, that doesn't mean give these people, these jokers, another opportunity to have at you. Hell no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying say a prayer, forgive them, toss it into the wind, okay? And if you need to have a conversation, maybe that conversation is harder than you think. That conversation could be with one of your parents. That conversation could be with a sibling or a cousin. That conversation could be with the person that you love right now. And they make you feel some type of way sometimes. And you just hold it in and you never tell them like, yo, I feel like sometimes you belittle me. I feel like sometimes you bully me. I feel like sometimes you degrade me. I know you love me, but sometimes it seems like, you may have to have that hard conversation. But just go in peace and go in love and go with maturity. Say a prayer. Sorry, guys. Say a prayer first. Anthony, I love that you're commenting. Anthony said it takes a strong person to forgive. Yes, and I've had to do that. And I know plenty of people that had to do that. My mother is one person. My mother, let me tell you, and I know I'm ranting on and on and on, but this was so important and so personal to me and so necessary. That's why I had to come on here and say something. I had to, because you guys are going in. Even as we speak, people are answering those questions. So I thank all of you in advance. But please share this video. Remember, if you are a bully, stop. Stop bullying people. That goes to you young people, you older people, you seniors. I've worked in long-term care facilities where I've seen and had to talk to senior citizens about bullying each other. And it's real. It's real. Cyberbullying is real. So I just want to say to you, if you're watching this video, please share this video. If you're watching this video, stop bullying. Stop bullying people. There is actually a number, and I'll post it later. There's a number. If you are a bully or if you are being bullied, there's a whole bully hotline. There's a whole bully website. I will post that number. But if you are a bully, stop it. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself why you're bullying. Ask yourself who hurt you to make you want to hurt other people. Ask yourself that. And if you're being bullied, know that it's not your fault. You are beautiful. You are special. You might be a little weird. And trust me, weird is good sometimes. You might be a little weird. You might be special. Whatever the case may be, you are unique. God does not make a mistake. You are special in your own way. Okay, and if they don't get it, if they don't understand it, then forget about them. They are not deserving of your time, space, or energy. But know that you are loved and we love you. And no one in this world is just like you. So know that if you're being bullied. And you can still call the hotline. And that goes for the children, the teenagers, the adults, the seniors. Okay? But in our poetic community, I've seen that. I've seen poets bully one another. Stop it. We are the leaders of expression, my poets. We are the leaders of expression and self explanation and self. I love that you guys are answering these questions. We are leaders. We are the people that are showing people how to open up, how to express themselves. So as far as my poets, my sisters and brothers of the poetry world, please, if you're a bully, stop it. Stop bullying each other. If you can't show love, then don't surround yourself with like-minded people. You know what I mean? If you can't show love, my mother said, if you can't say anything good about somebody, don't say anything at all. If you can't show love, then don't show anything. You said beef and poetry is the craziest thing I have ever seen. Man, I'm not even going to touch on that. And you know what? Man, look, that's a whole nother story. So, yes, spread love, spread joy, spread peace. There's so much negativity in the world, but things are still beautiful. There's still beauty in the world. Find it. Find it within yourself. You're beautiful. Look at you. Look in the mirror. Look at yourself right now. Look in your camera phone. Look in your mirror. You are gorgeous. You are wonderful. God made it so. Your life has purpose. Stevie Wonder said that. You will know. Lonely heart, every life has reason. 'Cause I know that's not the right word. Made it so. Anyway, the point is that God does not make mistakes. You are gorgeous and beautiful and talented and creative, and people love you. People like you. People are interested in you. Make no mistake, okay? And if somebody can't see that about you or in you, then they are not, again, I repeat, they are not worth your time, space, energy. Just know that. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna get ready to go because I've been talking. As you know, I felt so passionate about that. But again, if you're being bullied, there's a hotline number. You don't deserve it. Get help. Don't take it out on anybody else. Okay? And if you are a bully, stop it. Get help. There's a number for that as well. Talk to someone. You don't have to bully people. Okay? Oh, but just to retouch on that story really quick, just to go back. So I went to the family funeral. Anthony said sometimes people can bully by words. Words do have power. Absolutely. And that's what we're talking about. Words, I was, like I said, I was called all these names. Flat-chested, flat-butted, flat that, then, all these other things. Darky, chocolate, African booty scratcher. That was the biggest one. I'm like, African booty scratcher. And I tried to make sense of things because I'm like, well, technically we all are from Africa. Kemet, Egypt, Garden of Eden, whatever. I'm like, so we all are kind of, descendants of that. And then I was like, if my booty itches, I am going to scratch it, right? If your booty itches, you are going to scratch. Or you just going to let it itch. So I'm like, okay. I know that sounds crazy, but that was a big one for kids because I was the darkest one and the darkest female in the class. But yes, so, when people call you names, names hurt. Stop. If you can't call a person a name out of love, then stop. I know that sounds rhetorical or crazy, like, please, if we could do that, we could change the world. Well, that's what we're doing, people. Change the world. Look at me. You can change the world. I can change the world. We can change the world. We're doing it every single day. You don't realize it. Every time you say something nice about somebody, you send a ripple effect. Every time you say something loving about somebody, you send a ripple effect. Every time you give somebody a smile or say, have a good day, or great job, or 2 thumbs up, or you rock bells, we are changing the world. Every time we open our mouths and say something positive, the devil has to take a step back. He's like, oh, damn. Here they go again with this positive stuff. Here they go again. So what? There's too much negativity out there. Grab on to happiness. Are we going to be happy every day? No. Are we going to be happy every minute? No. Okay? But grab it. Hold on to it. Love it. Okay? Act like it's a $1 billion sitting on the table and you want it all. Grab what. You don't have to be miserable. There's too much misery in the world. Trust me, every day is going to be something to be mad or angry about. Okay? But smile if you can. Laugh when you can. Make jokes when you can. Okay? I know this doesn't sound like much, but yesterday, I normally wouldn't do this, but yesterday I had a homeless person ask me specifically, can he get an iced coffee with whipped cream? And I'm like, who does that? But I was going in Dunkin' Donuts. So I'm like, I didn't have to touch him or anything like that. So I'm like, well, I'm coming to buy junk food anyway. So I got him my iced coffee with whipped cream and I gave it to him. Okay? The other day I had some junk food in my bag and I'm like, yes, I can't wait to get my snack on. I had my chocolate little Debbie. I had my Swiss roll. And the homeless person was like, do you have some food? And in my head, I was like, no. And I'm like, well, I do got the snacks I was about to get down on. So I just grabbed the bag and I just gave it to him. But it felt good. It felt good. And I loved it. And I ain't need them snacks anyway, truth be told. Don't y'all agree with me on that? Anthony said, I dropped a poetic video on my page the other day titled, All About the Words, Pass By and Peep It, Queen. I will definitely pass by and peep it. Okay? Said, I love helping the homeless. I get a kick out of that. That's God's work. You know what? I always think like, this could be Jesus. Do I want to, not all of them, but I'm like, this might be Jesus. I don't know. This might be the last effort to be like, girl, I'm trying to save your soul. So I don't know. Now, everybody ain't Jesus, but I'm just saying, I was like, this could be Jesus. Let me give Jesus some snacks. I don't have to touch him. I'm still social distancing. So, I don't know. Oh my gosh. Anyway, but See, I keep getting wrapped up into that. And let me finish the story really quickly. So the point is, I saw the bully, one of my bullies. Haven't seen anybody but him at a funeral of a family member. And he looked at me. I looked at him. And he was like, I know you. I said, yeah, I know you too. He was like, yeah, then we go to junior high school together. I wasn't going to say it. But when he said it, I said, yeah, as a matter of fact, you bullied me. You were horrible. I said this in church. And guess what? He was one of the deacons. He was one of the deacons. And I surely did. I said, yes, you are a horrible individual. You picked on me with your group of friends, you and 3 other, and I knew all of them by name. That's how, that sticks in your head. I said, yes, with so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. I said, yes, you picked on me horribly. You made me feel horrible. You were a horrible person. You were a horrible bully. I said, I'm glad you're not like that anymore. And he was like, oh, no, come on. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Oh, come on. I wasn't bullying you. I said, you going to stand in the house of the Lord and lie? I sure did say that. I said, you going to stand in the house of the Lord and lie? You did. You did. I can remember each time. You did. I said, but I'm glad you changed. I said, and God bless you. So I looked at his page and I realized that we're related to quite a few people. I'm like, wait a minute. See, had he got to know me back then, then we would have realized this and we probably could have been friends. But, you know, like I said, come to find out he's a relative. Anyway, so that's that. I'm going to go, but again, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I had to come on here. Oh, look, I think I'm grown today, y'all. Look, I got on eyeshadow and lipstick. Yeah, I'm grown today. Go, Nima. Go, Nima. Get your grown on. Get your grown on. Anyway, yeah, so, but I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I appreciate you guys. Why is it always a church song? I'm like, this is my story. This is my song. Anyway, but yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys to the fullest. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you for answering those questions. Please continue to answer those questions because we are creating a safe environment. We are creating love and energy. And we're not always going to be positive. So if you feel like I'm getting a little iffy, jump in my inbox and be like, Nima, remember what you said. I don't mind you approaching me in a peaceful way because I know it's out of love. So if you know a bully, talk to a bully, stop a bully in a peaceful way. Share love, share this video. And remember, we can change the world. We're changing the world every single freaking minute that we're spreading love and positiveness. And don't let nobody take that from you. So, in the meantime, in between time, oh, just a side note, all the guys that bullied me back in the day, they all want to holler. Anyway, too bad for you, okay? Because my boo, I'm just saying. Anyway, one love, peace and blessings. You are a wonderful queen. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hearing me out. And in the meantime, in between time, do you and take care of you. Peace.